Some important sprint races on the docket this weekend, including the Grade 1 Bing Crosby at Del Mar on Saturday. It goes off as race number 10. It is a Breeders' Cup win, and you're in race. 6 furlongs the distance. Joe Kristufek with Scott Shapiro, and Scott, a horse that we are very familiar with from his days running in Kentucky, CZ Rocket. He has taken his game to a new level. He's one of the best horses in the division right now, and he's going to be a pretty defined favorite in the Bing Crosby.
No doubt about it. What a claim by trainer Peter Miller. We talked about Special Reserve in the Vanderbilt preview. Check that one out. Great claim by Mike Maker. But wow, for $40,000. And he has done very little wrong, Joe. He's got the runner-up finish last time out when he lost his shoe in the mud in the Steve Sexton Mile. And other than that, the only other loss was the second place finish to Whitmore in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. No doubt the horse to beat, has a win over the racetrack, should get a favorable setup. My one concern is being drawn down towards the inside, the racetrack at Del Mar, as it often has played towards outside types. Florent Giroux is going to have to work out a trip over a racetrack he's not that familiar with. He's definitely capable, but the question is, are you willing to swallow the chalk?
We always like to start with how the pace scenario is going to shake out. It's very important when you're trying to figure out what kind of trips horses are going to get, who the potential winner is going to be, price considerations, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think there's any doubt there's going to be an honest pace in this race, Scott, because of the presence of the 3-year-old Tapazar Colt for Chris Davis, who got his first career graded stakes win at Arlington Park last weekend. Talking about quick tempo, if you look at his running lines, he almost always breaks on top. First call, he's always been on the lead. This is a super fast sophomore. He's going to set the pace.
He is, but there's a lot of other early zip in here. To his outside, you've got 8 Rings, and you've got Brickyard Ride, who's also extremely quick. To his inside, you've got Vertical Threat. I think there's plenty of early pace, which makes it a little scary to play against CZ Rocket in this spot. But There are other horses that could get the jump on him, and as I mentioned, draw more favorably to the outside. Where'd you land?
I landed on a horse that I think might have the most upside in the race, and that's the number 2 Vertical Threat, who has run 5 times in his career, 3 dominant victories at Los Al, at Del Mar in the 3rd career start last July, then at Mahoning Valley, interestingly enough, in the mud. Scott, we saw him at Churchill Downs in the Pat Day Mile. That was a racetrack that favored off-the-pace closers. He made the lead that day, didn't perform all that well, took some time off, resurfaced at Mahoning Valley, but he's got 3 wins on the resume, all of them dominant. Richard Balta's very good bringing horses back off of a layoff. I think the price will be good enough. And like I said, I think he might have the most upside of the horses in this field.
That's an understandable take. My concern is the trip. A horse that likes to be on the lead has been on it or right off it and drawn towards the inside with all the other speed to his outside. He's really going to have to earn it. Also likely to be keen because he's coming off the layoff, as you mentioned. So I'd be surprised if he's not caught up in a battle. Maybe he's just that good. I'm going to lean towards a horse that I think is going to get the right trip, and that's number 8, Dr. Chevelle. This horse, one of 2 Mark Glatt runners that I give a look in here, being with Collusion Illusion being the other. Collusion Illusion 3 for 3 at Del Mar. May be better, may not be quite as good, as he was last year. Dr. Chevelle, 2 for 2 at Del Mar. Attracts Flavien Prat, who had some other options in here, including 8 Rings and Collusion Illusion. This horse is a 3-year-old taking on older horses, but did win impressively off the bench last time, is on the improve, and should get the perfect stalking trip off of what should be a lively early pace. Hopefully you can get the jump on CZ Rocket.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping, Scott, they kind of fan out, spread out a little bit early. I don't think Vertical Threat has to be on the lead. He has won from off the pace. Yes, he did make the lead in the Pat Day Mile, but that was a 1-turn mile. Obviously, this is a 6-furlong contest. And I think Joe Bravo is probably smart enough to be able to realize that he doesn't want to go head-to-head with a horse like a Quick Tempo early. I think he'll draw off in the early stages, and other horses are going to have to chase him home. Any quick final thoughts on this one? We're both against CZ Rocket, looking for a little bit of value.
Yeah, barring scratches, I just think the most important thing to note in this race is the likely quick tempo, no pun intended. I know you mentioned quick tempo always on the lead. So is Brickyard Ride. I would expect to be a chaotic early pace. Maybe you can find a way to bring horses like Shooter Shoot from the rail underneath. I don't think he's good enough, but he should get the right trip, taking him off the pace, coming with a run, cutting back from 7 furlongs to 6. But I'm on Dr. Chevelle. I think both him and Collusion Illusion worth trying to beat the favorite with.
Whoever wins this race is in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. It's at Del Mar this year. They're not going to have to travel all that far to get there. CZ Rocket, the odds-on favorite. Scott and I both against. Best of luck in the Bing Crosby at Del Mar on Saturday.